Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the Food and Travel Podcast by State Street Spices. I'm your host, Andrew Rubin, and I'm very excited for today's episode, where we'll be counting down the top 10 cities for food in the Northeast. This will lead us to our final episode of the series, which will be the top 10 food cities in the whole United States. I'm very excited for this episode and our finale of this amazing series, and without further ado, let's get started. The Northeast region for this episode are the states that we have not done in the other three episodes, which are Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, West Virginia, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Let's start this list at number 10 with New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven is known for a lot of great American cuisine, from the signature pizzas to the amazing hot dogs and steamed cheeseburgers. A fun fact is while the cheeseburger's original city is not known, a lot of people believe the first cheeseburger ever made was in New Haven, Connecticut. So they really pride themselves on their cheeseburgers and do a lot of amazing different cuisines with this in mind. They're really known for a lot of amazing American food and does a lot of things very well. Next, coming in at number 9, we have Providence, Rhode Island. Providence is known for their seafood, which is very much like a lot of other northeastern cities, with seafood being on this list quite often. However, Providence is also known for their street food offerings, and not just typical American street food like pizza and hot dogs, but also different cuisines like Asian street food and also Middle Eastern. They really do a lot of different cultures very well for their food scene, and also have a lot of unique drinks from their lemonades to different fruit juices. Providence, Rhode Island really has it all when it comes to amazing cuisine from around the country and around the world. Next, at number 8, we have Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh is the birthplace to a lot of famous foods, from ketchup to Klondike bars. With it being the birthplace of all these amazing foods, it's understandable that Pittsburgh has a great cuisine. They have different items from hotcakes to desserts like cookies, and are also known for a lot of different types of pizza. Pittsburgh really has a lot of great options, especially when it comes to American cuisine, and the fact that they have a lot of food entrepreneurs throughout history also shows the dedication to Pittsburgh and their food scene. Number 7 might surprise you, it's Burlington, Vermont. Burlington is known a lot for their farm-to-table foods, and you can get a lot of different cuisine at any time of day, from eggs and sausage to dumplings and lamb. And the fact that all the restaurants are farm to table for the most part is something very unique about Burlington, and I think makes it stand out from the competition. So while there's a lot of amazing food scenes in the Northeast, I think the fact that in Burlington you can get farm to table foods almost everywhere makes it extremely unique and extremely wonderful, which is why it is at number 7 for today's list. In number 6, for the first time in the series, I'm actually giving a tie. Number 6 is both Baltimore, Maryland, and Portland, Maine. Both Baltimore and Portland are known for similar foods, and that is mostly the seafood scene, with Baltimore known for their crab cakes and oysters, and also some unique desserts as well, with Portland also being known for mostly seafood options, like the Maine lobsters, and also the clam chowder, and even a lobster omelet. Portland is very farm-to-table as well, just like the number 7 pick, and they both really excel at seafood and desserts, which is why I feel like it was only fair to have both cities tied in the number 6 spot. Number 5, we go to our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. has a lot of amazing cuisines, a lot of which I have been fortunate enough to try. 2 of my favorite restaurants are both located in Washington, D.C. One is Tonic, which does loaded tater tots that taste nothing like I've ever had before when it comes to different loaded items. and the other one being Lupo Marina, which has some of the best pizza I've ever had. It's an Italian restaurant on the wharf, and I've tried the lasagna as well as the meatball pizza, and both were excellent. I would highly recommend it if you're at DC's wharf. However, DC is also known for a lot of unique items like the half-smoked sausages and the Chesapeake blue crabs, as well as a lot of unique DC pizza options. I think DC is the most underrated city when it comes to pizza, and I think they just have a lot to offer in general, with so many cultures coming together in our nation's capital. For number 4 spot, we go to New York State, Buffalo, New York. Buffalo has a lot of amazing cuisines, like the Buffalo-style pizza to the spaghetti parmesan. They are also the birthplace of the chicken finger sub, which is a very unique option I've never seen before, and I'm very interested in trying. However, they are most known for the buffalo seasoning and the buffalo sauces, with things like chicken wings. At State Street Spices, we offer our own buffalo blend to replicate the authenticity of the buffalo spices found in Buffalo, New York. A buffalo spice mix is great to spice up your cooking with the great flavors of Buffalo, New York, inspired by the medium heat and bold flavors of Buffalo style food. A spice blend is great for any item. This spice adds an amazing punch of flavor that will leave you wanting more. Get your Buffalo Spice Blend at StateStreetSpices.com, and don't forget to use the promo code SPICE10 for 10% off your order. Now moving on to our top 3, we have Boston, Massachusetts. Boston is also known for their seafood, like many different cities on this list, especially the clam chowder, along with the lobster rolls. However, they also have a lot of cuisine in other areas, like desserts, with having Boston cream pie and cannolis. They are also known for their Boston baked beans. I think Boston does each thing that it does very well. It misses out on the top 2 because I think they lack in a little bit of areas when it comes to food culture. However, each option that Boston does, they do really well. And I think they have some of the best foods in each category in the country, which is why it's at the number 3 spot. Our runner-up in today's list, we have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is most known for their sandwiches, especially the famous Philly cheesesteaks, as well as the hoagie sandwiches, roasted pork, and the pork roars, as well as items like soft pretzels and baked goods. Philadelphia is high on my list for traveling to try the amazing cuisine, because I really think Philadelphia has a lot of amazing foods to offer. I'm a big fan of cheesesteak sandwiches, so I think trying one in Philly would be very unique, as they do it very well, and they're supposed to have some of the best sandwiches in the world. So I really am looking forward to hopefully going to Philadelphia soon to try some of the amazing cuisine that they offer. Before reviewing number 1, I would like to have some honorable mentions. Our first honorable mention is for Richmond, Virginia, which is known for some seafood options like oysters and crab, as well as pizza, and most well known for the pimento cheese. The next honorable mention is Rochester, New York, which is known for the famous garbage plate, as well as frozen custards and other desserts, as well as a great breakfast scene. The third honorable mention goes to Annapolis, which has a lot of great Mediterranean food, as well as a seafood scene from crab to poke bowls. And the last honorable mention goes to Syracuse, New York, with a lot of amazing international cuisines, from Vietnam cuisine to Ethiopia food, as well as barbecue options and Italian food. They have a lot of great diverse options in Syracuse, New York. Now, for number 1, we have New York City, New York. New York has some of the most diverse cuisine in the world, from Middle Eastern dishes to Chinese food. They really have it all. They're most famously known for their pizzas and bagels. I went to New York for the first time last November, I really enjoyed Little Italy Pizza, as well as some of the other pizza restaurants I had. There was really a big difference between a New York slice and other slices. I personally think Chicago slices are good and St. Louis slices are good, but they just don't compare to a great New York slice of pizza. And they really do have the most diverse cuisine in the world. They have so many amazing options, like their cannolis, and also have a lot of great American food, like fried chicken and hot dogs. There's really no going wrong in New York City, and every meal that I had there was really phenomenal. So if you're looking for any sort of cuisine, New York likely has it and likely does it super well. I highly recommend, if you're in New York, going to a pizza shop like Little Italy Pizza, and just going to a local place, because sometimes, especially in New York, the best places are the local ones that are kind of hole-in-the-wall places that you might not think about going, but they have some of the best food in the world. So I highly recommend New York, and it is number one on today's list. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Food and Travel Podcast. I'm super excited for the next episode in the series, which will be the finale, which we will reveal our top 10 food cities in the United States. Which cities from this list do you think will be on now? Stay tuned for another amazing episode coming soon, and I appreciate you listening to today's episode. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Use the code SPICE10, that's SPICE 10, at checkout on StateStreetSpices.com to get 10% off your next order. Thank you.